This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors.
Hey guys, what is up and welcome to the channel. Today is, of course, Wednesday. And that means patch notes and a lot of patch notes. There is just so much information that I woke up to this morning, and a lot of it is pretty amazing. Now, I know you see the new layout here, the new layout down here. Hope you enjoy it. I've been enjoying it. I hope it looks really good. Hope that this all looks fantastic. But anyways, let's get to these patch notes. Now, starting at 1750 UTC, run until about 7 p.m. EST. Yeah, because you at UTC. Who uses UTC? Here in Ohio, we use EST or whatever. Anyways, we use Ohio time. So 7 p.m. Ohio time, I will be rolling for the information that's coming out in here. So we're going to have summon system improvements, hero relation improvements, apocalypse, Ravi, hero balance adjustments, other improvements and adjustments, and free unequip event. The best part, the free unequip event, because Daddy doesn't have that much gold. So anyways, let's jump into part one. Now we're going to go from 1 to 3 across. Oh, I was looking at something really important here. Scroll back up to the top. Update content part 1. Now, we've been talking about it. We've been seeing it coming. The Moonlight heroes are in the Covenant summons now. You already have people complaining that the 5-star Moonlight hero has 0.15% chance, but you're going to have a bunch of free-to-play players being like, oh, ML Ken, free-to-play, by the way. And not actually free-to-play, by the way, free-to-play. Just free-to-play, not free-to-play, by the way, because free-to-play, by the way, means that you threw down this hard-earned, maybe not hard-earned cash, but you threw down this cash. Also, yeah, that was a stack of ones. Don't at me. So, anyways, we're getting the 5-star, 4-star, and 3-star Moonlights in here. The best part, though, is dropping that 3-star artifact right the F out of here. And by that, I mean you only got 5% left, but less. But for me, that's still a 99% chance to get a 3-star artifact when all I really want is literally anything else, literally anything other than a 3-star artifact these days. So the other thing is Mystic summons. Not only is the UI been improved, but look up here at the top, number one thing, the pity counter. Now 200 summons. I know a lot of people are like, pity, 200 summons, only whales can hit that. Well, too bad. So we're gonna get the pity summons up in here. And that's great because, I mean, I'm going to literally need that because, yeah, it sucks. I have bought, like, every Mystic pack ever. You know how many 5-star Moonlights I pulled from it? 0. Well, everybody in my Discord's like, oh, hey, by the way, guys, 3 Sage Balls with 3 rolls on Mystics. So you can't screw me any more Mystic summons. You were a Cancer before. You're still not great, but you're better. You're better than you were. So yes, we're gonna get the guaranteed pity summon on Mystics, which in my opinion was needed, because yeah, to go that many Mystics without a single 5-star Moonlight is pretty gross. Pretty gross. Pretty much everything else has been the same. You're gonna have your chance at the 5-star, but it's not in the pity, so that's cool. They're making everything look a little bit nicer here. That's pretty much it. That's all I care about right here. Guaranteed summons have been added. Obviously, each summon will get the counter by 1. You know what else would be really cool is if they put in that Mystic summons counted towards your mileage summons. That would have been nice as well. But anyways, yeah, if the 5-star Moonlight is summoned, then the counter. Hold on. If the 5-star Moonlight hero is rotated, then the summon counter does not reset. So even if you don't get this 5-star, you'll get potentially the next one. So realistically, what you could do is, if you know something's coming up in the future, is if you have that further up the way, is just hold off on Mystics until the next one that you want. So let's say you don't really care that much about Fallen Cecilia right now. So you could throw a bunch of marks at her if you get her. Okay, great, because you're going to, because, you know, the desire sensor is real, and you're going to be like, oh man, really don't care about Fallen Cecilia. Boom, Fallen Cecilia. Right on the last one where you're like, you know what, this will be the last one. Then I'll save all the rest for the next one. Bam, pity system, pity counter, blown right out, and you've got a character that you don't really care that much about. Although Fallen Cecilia is pretty good, and APOC Ravi is going to be super baller as well. But yeah, if you do get it, the counter is reset. If you don't get it, it's not reset. So that's actually really cool. It does guarantee that even the free-to-play player eventually will be able to get that character. Now, they did some summon visual improvements. They stole my thumbnail, and they put the cool slashes in here. I guess from over here, this way? This way? I don't know, man. Cameras, I don't understand cameras. Cameras, how do they work? But anyways, they added some cool flair to it so that when you get the Strat Gauntlet for the 700th time, you're gonna be like, oh hey man, at least they've got this cool border on here. I'm real excited about that. Purple colors appear in addition to UI improvements when summoning 4 and 5-star Moonlight heroes. Whoa! Whoa! I mean, I guess that's cool. Visual improvements are always fine. Hero relationship improvements. Now, one of the things here is I don't like. Does this affect? Will this affect the labyrinth at all? Like, is this going to affect your morale stuff? I don't know. Probably not. It's probably, this is more for just like flavor stuff with the relationships and everything. But as the player progresses through into the plot, new relations are formed and displayed. When a condition is satisfied, a new relationship diagram opens and a player can move to another relationship via the button at the bottom. Relationships that have not been formed will be marked with a question mark symbol, and the players progress in the stories. These will be replaced with newly connected heroes. As the story progresses, the relationships may also change. You also have, even if your relationship with a particular hero has changed, players may still view the previous information by tapping the button below. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is my girl right here. APOC motherfucking Ravi, dude. So good. We're going to take a look at this video and I'm going to critique this guy. Okay, that's right. I can't because my internet's down right now. That's why I'm recording this super fast. But regardless, go watch that. And yeah, APOC Ravi. Look at those horns. Look at that axe. Ravi was good in the first place. Now they just made her even edgier, even cuter. Those thigh highs. I mean, let's get into her actual character here. Apocalypse Ravi is a dark elemental warrior whose self-sufficiency allows her to contribute to both eliminating enemies and ensuring the survival of her allies. Deliverance. Soul Exchange revives an ally when an enemy is eliminated. Let's just talk about these down here. So let's talk about Spectral Axe. This is going to be your first one. This is going to be your soul burnable. Similar to regular Ravi attacks with the enemy with an axe, absorbing some of the damage dealt as health. Damage dealt increased proportional to the caster's max health. You're going to want to make this girl extra thick. Extra thick. She's going to be a very big tanky bruiser. That's going to be one of the big things. Soul Burn greatly increased the amount of damage dealt. Does not trigger dual attack. So yeah, very much like regular Ravi, this is going to be pretty solid. You're going to acquire 20 fighting spirit off of this. It's going to scale with her hit points. So you're going to have somebody to put all of your Ken gear on instead of Ken. So number 2, War God's Might. Ooh, just flexing on people. Critical hit chance increased by 5% for every 20 fighting spirit. So at max, that's what, 25% increase to crit. So you don't necessarily have to run crit sets or a crit neck on her. You can make her kind of thick, give her about 20, I'd say probably like a good solid like 80%, 85%, because you're going to want to make sure that, you know, you're capping out on your crit, but you also don't want to make sure that you're not like gimping yourself if you don't have any fighting spirit whatsoever, or like half fighting spirit. So you want to still put some crit on her, but you don't want to have to go ham. You don't have to have 100% capped crit, because you're going to start with 50% of your fighting spirit, and so that's right there is what, 10%, 10% hit to crit. So even if you had 85, you got a 95, you hit the first time, you're gonna get another 5%. So boom, there you go. For every 24, yeah, consumes 10 fighting spirit to recover health after being attacked. Now you're gonna want to make her thick because you want to regen that health after attack. If you get one shot, can't really regen any hit points when you're dead. Best crowd control in the game, just one shot them. Just one shot them. So amount recovered increases proportional to the caster's max health. So again, if you are extra thick, like 3-4Cs thick, you're going to be getting back tons of hit points. Can you imagine her with a tanky counter set, with a counter Corvus, with a counter Destina, with a counter Seaside Bell, all being super thick? Just get wrecked. That's going to be such a cancerous team. Just gross. But let's talk about Deliverance. And we're not talking about like the song. That's not even the right one. But yeah, Deliverance, Soul Exchange. After awakening, delivers divine judgment down upon the enemy. When an enemy is defeated, revives one random dead ally with 10% health before granting skill nullifier one time. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Now, one of the cool things about this is she's actually going to be really good in PvE as well as PvP, because if you think about it, how many times have you been like, oh man, look, my character died, oh, Ripperino on Banshee, but she just split into other things. Guess what? You can bring them back. Bring them back. Guess what? You're not dead anymore. Skedaddle Skedoodle, you're back in this. That didn't rhyme at all. But yeah, no, I'm really, really hyped about Apocalypse Ravi. She's coming in the Mystics. I am going to get back so many marks, and I guarantee I'm going to get her, because if I don't, yeah, I'm going to. So anyways, let's talk about hero balance adjustments. Luluka. This is going to be pretty good. Most people don't use Luluka right now. So we did talk about this a little bit when they came out with this previously, but before, the Wild Wave attacks with intense elemental force, damage dealt increases proportional to the amount of the enemy's lost health. This is now going to have a 50% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns on it. So not only is she going to be decreasing defense on her S3, but she's going to have that 50% chance on her S1 as well. No increase really against across anything else, but that is a pretty nice increase. That's going to make her really good for things like Wyvern. It's going to bust open a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. Wave of Vengeance. Before, it attacked all enemies with the power of Ruin with a 50% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns. Damage dealt increased every time using the skill that can stack up to 3 turns. Now, before, this was only affecting this skill. Now, it has a 60% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns and increase the caster's attack. That means this is going to increase the viability of S3 as well as her S1. Now, Ball and Sezin, or as I like to call him, BS. Before, Dark Cloud's damage is increased by 30%, and the damage dealt proportional to debuffs is increased by 50%. Before, literally, when you got him, this was like an oof. This was a big yikes, an F in the chat for you, dog. Because nobody used this guy. No one used him. They used his Moonlight counterpart. Literally, people didn't know what he did. So summons a cloud of darkness to attack all enemies, dealing damage proportional to the number of debuffs inflicted on the enemy. The enemy is defeated by this attack. The cooldown is reset. Now, this is going to be pretty big, because if you think about it, guess what? Just make him a little bit slower than a Dizzy. You're gonna have a bunch of debuffs up. Put a Roman out there, Roman Dizzy, and then BNS, and just cleave everybody. It'll be interesting to see how people use him. I don't have him invested in the slightest, so we'll see. Last Requiem's cooldown has been decreased by 2. Previously was 6 turns. Attacks all enemies with strike magic with a 65% chance to decrease speed and defense, making them unhealable for 2 turns. Now, what you could do here is you could run this, then hit with Dizzy, then hit with Roman, Oxlot BS all the way back up to the top, and then hit with Dark Cloud. boom. But it's going to be a little bit hard to set up. You're going to have some either like really, really, really quick people, or yeah. But yeah, now it's yeah, 60. It's 4 turns, 4 turns, which I mean I guess isn't bad. Realistically, if you're using this in PvP with this type of setup, chances are you're not going to get 4 turns. That's usually in PvP, like especially at mid tier, low tier, it's usually decided in 1 turn. But anyways, we'll see how people deal with that. So Ludwig, I've seen some interesting plays with Ludwig. I personally don't have him geared up or leveled up, but we'll see how this goes. Previously, Moonlight Blow attacks with light with a 35% chance to stun for 1 turn. When the enemy is defeated, when the enemy is defeated by this attack, the caster is granted invincibility for 1 turn. Now, you just get 1 turn of invincibility. Easy, easy. Done. So next up is going to be Call of the Full Moon. This previously attacked all enemies with Nocturne Magic, penetrating defense by 50% if the caster is invincible. A critical hit will grant the caster a barrier for 2 turns, with strength increasing proportional to the caster's attack. Now it's going to automatically penetrate defense by 20%, but it's also going to do an extra 30% if the caster is invincible. The big thing with this one is that it was kind of hard to follow up the invincibility with this. So, you know, if you're on cooldown, it really didn't do much here. Now you can Moonlight Blow right into Call of the Full Moon, so you'll have that invincibility. It'll work out pretty nice with this. So we'll see. Like I said, I've seen some 200 IQ plays with Ludwig previously, so we'll see how it goes. Like Ludwig Oxlots is pretty crazy good. So Tenebria, another character a lot of people didn't use because they just used her Spectre counterpart. Dark Explosion's probability of inflicting the debuff Sleep has been increased. Previously, attacks with an explosion of dark energy with a 25% chance put them to sleep for 1 turn. When an enemy is put to sleep, the caster's combat readiness is increased by 50%. Skill does not trigger a double attack. So now they upped it to 40%. So that's pretty nice. I mean, 40% is still less than half, but we'll take it. Nightmare now has an increased probability to decrease the defense of all enemies. It's also been reduced by 1 turn on the cooldown. You're just dropping an entire moon on people with a now 70% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns and increase the attack of the caster for 2 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. Leo, now I'm super upset because they mistranslated this the previous time, and I was so hype for this. He's still not going to be bad, but it definitely isn't as crazy as I thought that it would be. So what they did with Fox Hunt, they increased the chance for Sparrow Dive to 50% instead of 30%. So that's actually pretty cool. That's a pretty big increase here. You know, now you have a 50-50 chance of doing Sparrow Dive, which if they're on the enemy team is 100% chance, and if they are on your team, it is a big old fat 0% chance. The probability of flying raccoon inflicting stun has increased, and the cooldown has decreased 5 turns. Raccoon flies into the enemy like a bullet and attacks all of them, decreasing speed for 2 turns with a 75% chance to stun. Sorry about that. Before it said 2 turns of stun, and I was like, what? That is insane. 75% chance for 2 turns of stun is busted. But it's 1 turn of stun, which I mean still isn't bad if you're running him with like say like a Spez or something along those lines. It'll be interesting to see. I've literally never seen him in PvP at all. Maybe this will have an impact. I mean, his Fox Hunt, the 75% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns is already pretty solid. The 50% chance to use Sparrow Dive is also really good now. And the 75% chance to stun is pretty solid. If you make him super speedy you're against like slow people, this is not only going to increase your speed overall, but and decrease their speed. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. It'll be interesting to see. Now Roman, I actually 6-starred him just to see how this dude is gonna play out. Gravitation now attacks all enemies with a magic circle with a 50% chance to decrease combat readiness by 15% up to 4 times. So that's pretty big. This is on a 3-turn cooldown as well. Event Horizon shoots a powerful gravity sphere at all enemies, dispelling all buffs and increasing combat readiness of the caster by 50%. Damage dealt increases. The enemy is inflicted with 2 poison effects for 2 turns, and the caster's combat readiness is increased by an additional 30% when the enemy is buffed. So if you put him super speedy, put him first, I would say actually he might run my tag heals, but if you think like there's the Necro and Undyne artifact that you could put on him from Dizzy from way back, that increases combat readiness if you attack all enemies. This could literally make this dude loop. Actually, I might go increase that just for this dude. Just for this dude. Yes. Actually. Oh my goodness. That's going to be so good. Yeah, no, he's going to be really, really good. So it doesn't say, if there's a chance, what the chance is. So this just dispels all buffs. Just all buffs. It just dispels them. You'll probably be able to resist it, but this almost sounds like a guaranteed 100% chance to potentially dispel buffs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts here. So you can Event Horizon, and if they're slow, you instantly follow up with Gravitation. Just get wrecked, like you never get a turn. So unless you're up against like some heavy duty effect resist, I would 100% build this dude just absolute speedy, super speed, super effective. Just, you want to just loop this. And on a 3-turn cooldown with Gravitation, 5-turn cooldown on Event Horizon, not only that, but his S1 decreases combat readiness as well. Throw him in with like, I don't know, a Crown Dizzy, maybe a Shadow Rose would be interesting. Shadow Rose, Roman, Dizzy, Oxlots. Just, you never let the other team get a turn. Ever. Maybe Lidica after they fix like what Lidica does. It's gonna be the era of never let your enemy get a turn. Captain Ricorous. Now, at first I was like, oh, this will be pretty interesting. I'm a big fan of Ricorous, but I don't know about this one. So previously, Quick Pierce just attacked with a spear with a 35% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns, but now effect is increased by 25% when the caster is granted increased speed. Supreme Spear attacks all enemies with a hard trained spear art with 75% chance to dispel a buff from the target before having a 75% chance to stun an enemy with the highest combat readiness regardless of skill miss. Recovers caster's health after an attack. Amount recovered is proportional to the caster's attack. Now this is pretty good, but overall his S1, just this Quick Pierce, just really isn't doing it for me. I mean, that's not even like the best chance for a defense decrease. Yeah, S3 has been pretty good. Healing effect has been increased by 100% when compared to previous version. Damage for Captain Ricorous' skill Supreme Spear has also been increased by 41%. So I mean, it's going to do a lot more damage. It is on a 3-turn cooldown, so that's pretty good. And if he's super speedy, you're just going to be like, bop, Supreme Spear, Supreme Spear, Supreme Spear, and he's going to be healing. So we'll see. They also increased his defense and his health percentage overall by a little bit across the board. 3% across the health runes and 2%, 1%, 2%, 2% on the defense there. So that might make him a little bit tankier. We'll see. I have him. I don't really have him geared or skilled out. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You can get the dispel chance up. What is that? 90%. 15, yeah, 90% on here. No, you can get it to 100%. Yeah, 100% chance to dispel buff from the target before the 75% chance to stun an enemy with the highest combat readiness. I mean, so we'll see. We'll see if anybody uses him. I'm sure somebody's going to come up with the 300, 400 IQ plays with Captain Rickarus, maybe. Ross, finally, Ross, main character, hentai pro tag. He's going to be getting some love here. Sword of the Air has had its effect changed and the awakening has been removed. So right now, Amount of Recola strongly attacks all enemies with a sword storm, recovering health and increasing defense of the caster for 2 turns. Damage dealt and the amount of recovery increases proportional to the caster's max health. So they added what here? They reduced the turn and they added an extra 10%. No, they didn't. They added an extra. They added literally the same. It's literally the same. So they just took the 10% from number 4 and split it into 2 10%. So you literally still get the same amount of damage. They just baked the turn cooldown in there, and they increased the amount of hit points returned. Anyways, yeah, maybe it'll help when you're going through the story if you're using them. X/ now has its awakening effect added. Attacks with a sword with 75% chance to dispel a buff. That's okay. They're really getting into this whole like let's dispel some buffs. So yeah. Overall, I am mostly hype about the Roman changes for sure. Definitely going to be good. Let's pop on to part 3. Other improvements and adjustments. An issue where the added value is not displayed when Chaos Inquisitor's Faith Rune is enhanced to +2 has been fixed. Auto battle AI improvements have been made so that Ludwig's skill Call of the Full Moon triggers after using the skill Moonlight Blow. That's nice. An issue that caused the barrier that triggered when Arrowwell's skill Escort is used, which made it overlap with other barriers, has been fixed. Improvements have been made so that the barrier triggered by Fallen Cecilia's skill, Strong Instinct, and Arrowwell's skill, Escort, to trigger on random allies when allies were at max health. Okay. Some Volcanic Viper stuff. They're going to be fixing this pretty much forever. Korean voice actor for Lulika has been changed to Lee Young-sin. Awesome. I don't use the Korean voices anyways. An issue where despite gaining 5 focus after an ally is attacked, Seaside Bell's skill You're Not Cute did not activate upon an ally's death. I did notice that, so I'm glad that's fixed. An issue that caused the max damage to be continuously displayed twice when Seaside Bell's skill Haven't I Warned You is used has been fixed. Cool. Artifacts. An issue that caused effects of creation and destruction not to trigger on non-attacks has been fixed. That's cool. I'm glad that it's not just attacking S3s. An issue that caused the effect of the artifact Erebus Ritual Sword and Higlance to not trigger when the target is dead after other allies are attacked has been fixed. Okay. Adjustments have been made so that poison is not triggered when the threaten buff for the 5 types of nightmares are not dispelled. Inflates their bodies and attacks the enemy, dispelling 1 buff. When the buff is successfully dispelled, inflicts 2 poisons for 2 turns. Okay. Some typos. Adjustments have been made to certain reputation text in the side story. Improvements have been made so that players are able to see their progress for hidden achievements on the world map. That's cool. Promotional video. Abyss. Improvements have been made so that purification grants rewards proportional to the number of Abyss guides that are owned. All right, interesting. Let's see. An issue that caused actual numbers of continuous turns of buffs resulting from Rin's skill share buff be different from that displayed. Okay. Improvements have been made so that monsters' debuff value is displayed as a percentage. Issue that caused the skill Sound of Fanatical Gaze Nicalia not to be heard has been fixed. Let me see if there's anything. Adjustments have been made so that the body is removed when the boss, Julvi Council, who reappears in Royal Capital, divided. All right. I think that's just a lot of graphical stuff. Players will be able to purchase Unknown Slate today. I'm excited for that. 1,600 conquest points. Fantastic. Fantastic. Improvements have been made to the records tab in the guild lobbies. Players will now be able to see more detailed information about guild activities. A+. Improvements have been made so that a red dot is displayed when there is an attendance reward to be collected. Okay, adjustments have been made so that a pop-up is displayed when promoting a guild member to captain. Okay. Shop. Mystic medals have been added to the secret shop. A+. I can refresh for Mystic Medal Whaling. Hero UI. Players will now be able to increase their hero inventory size from 250 to 300. Exciting stuff right there. Actually really hyped about that because I mean, you run out of spots real hard. A lot, especially when you're farming a lot. Yeah, you run out really quick. An issue that caused lag when promoting heroes has been fixed, finally. Improvements have been made so that when a Phantasma is promoted, Phantasmas of the same type are automatically sorted according to highest level. Okay, fantastic. Packs. The text equipment acquired that is displayed at the bottom of the screen when a player purchases a pack has been changed to equipment left. All right. Okay, so that was it in the third part. So we get free unequip event. This is going to be huge. I always love these. This is after maintenance all the way up until Sunday. So you're going to want to make sure that you're pulling stuff off, swapping things around, playing out with stuff, and going from there. This is going to be really big. I'm doing account reviews on Thursday, tonight and Thursday. And so this will be good because I can switch and swap people's stuff around. Galaxy bookmarks and Mystic medals 50% refund notice. Yes. So following the update on 8.8, players will be able to receive a 50% reimbursement of Galaxy bookmarks and Mystic medals used all time. As stated on the post in 731 titled Summon System Improvement Notice, players will receive a 50% reimbursement on Galaxy summons and Mystic medals due to the change in difficulty of obtaining Moonlight heroes. We will get this. You can pull these down from the 8th up until the 22nd. 2019 prior to the update. Reimbursement method. Players will receive their reimbursement via their in-game mailbox. You need to get this within 14 days. If you don't, sucks to suck. Players will receive a 50% reimbursement on Galaxy bookmarks used from the dates below. August 30th of 2018 to August 2nd of 2019. This is so big. I'm going to get back so many. But yeah, there you go, guys. This is huge, man. APOC Ravi, I will be rolling for her once the servers come back up, and if I get my internet sorted out. It's been down for like the last 2 hours. But anyways, yeah, there you go, guys. Let me know in the comments what you're excited for. How many Mystic and Galaxy bookmarks do you think you're getting back? Let me know down below. If you did like this, make sure you like, fave, subscribe, do all of the typical YouTuber stuff. Share this video out because YouTube has been just straight up bending me over harder than the gacha. So I would appreciate it if you guys do that. If not, you know what? I'm not your real dad, so you do whatever. You do you, boo. All right, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.